day, America. Jeremiah chapter 34. The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, when Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and all of his army, and all of the kingdoms of earth, under his dominion, and all of the people fought against Jerusalem and all of its cities, saying, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah, the king of Judah, and tell him, thus says the Lord, behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire." Jeremiah chapter 34. "And you shall not escape from his hand, but shall surely be taken and delivered into his hand. Your eyes shall see the eyes of the king, of Babylon, and he shall speak with you to your face. And you shall go to Babylon, yet hear the word of the Lord. O Zedekiah, king of Judah, thus says the Lord concerning you, you shall not die by the sword, you shall die in peace, as in the ceremonies of your fathers, the former kings who were before you. And you will lament to you, and they will lament for you, saying, Alas, Lord, for I have pronounced the word, says the Lord. And then Jeremiah the prophet spoke all of these words to Zedekiah, the king of Judah, in Jerusalem. And all of the cities of Judah that were left against Lachish and Ezekah, for only these fortified cities remained of the cities of Judah. Jeremiah chapter 34, verse 8. This is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. After King Zedekiah had made a covenant with all of the people who were at Jerusalem to proclaim liberty to them, that every man should set free his male and female slave, a Hebrew man or a woman, I didn't know I wasn't live on my YouTube page. Hi, Christina. Hola. Just want to make sure we have people here that have your attention now. This is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. After King Zedekiah had made a covenant with all of the people who were at Jerusalem to proclaim liberty to them, that every man should set his male and female slave free, a Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, and that no one should keep a Jewish brother in bondage. Now when all of the princes and all of the people who had entered into the covenant heard that everyone should set free his male and female slaves, that no one should keep them in bondage anymore. So they obeyed and they let them go. But afterwards they changed their minds, and they made the male and female slaves return, whom they had set free, and then they brought them into subjection as male and female slaves. Therefore the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, I made a covenant with your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, saying, At the end of 7 years, let every man set his Hebrew brother free, who has been sold to him. And when he has served you 6 years, you shall let him go free from you. But your fathers did not obey me, nor did they incline their ear. And then you recently turned and did what was right in my sight, every man proclaiming liberty to his neighbor. And you made a covenant before me in the house which is called my name. And then you turned around and profaned my name. And every one of you brought back his male slave and female slave, whom you had set at liberty, at their pleasure. And you brought them back into subjection to be your male and female slaves. Therefore, thus says the Lord, you have not obeyed me in proclaiming liberty, everyone to his brother and everyone to his neighbor. Behold, I proclaim liberty to you, says the Lord, to the sword, to pestilence and famine. And I will deliver you to trouble among all the kingdoms of the earth. And I will give the men who have transgressed my covenant, who have not performed the words of the covenant, which they made before me when they cut the calf in two and passed between the parts of it, the princes of Judah, the princes of Jerusalem, the eunuchs, the priests, and all the people of the land, who passed between the parts of the calf. I will give them into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their lives. Their dead bodies shall be meat for the birds of the heaven and the beasts of the earth. And I will give Zedekiah, the king of Judah, and his princes into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life, and into the hand of the king of Babylon, his army, which has gone back from you. Behold, I will command, says the Lord, and cause them to return to this city. They will fight against it, and take it, and burn it with fire. In Jeremiah chapter 34, verse 22. And I will make the cities of Judah a desolation without an inhabitant. Jeremiah chapter 35. The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord the days of Joachim, the son of Josiah, Hosea, and the king of Judah, saying, Go to the house of the Rechabites, and speak to them, and bring them into the house of the Lord, into one of the chambers, and give them wine to drink. Then I took Jaasaniah, the son of Jeremiah, the son of Habaniah, and his brothers, and all your sons, and all your brothers, and I brought them into the house of the Lord, into the chamber of the sons of Hanan, the son of Igdaliah, who was a man of God, which was by the chambers of the princes, above the chamber of the Maaseiah, the son of Shallum, the keeper of the doorkeeper. Then I set before the sons of the house of the Rechabites bowls of wine and cups, and I said to them, Drink this wine. But they said, we will drink no wine. For Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, commanded us, saying, you shall drink no wine. You nor your sons forever. You shall not build a house. You shall not sow a seed or plant a vineyard, nor have any of these. But all of your days you shall dwell in tents, that you may live many days in a land where you are sojourners. Thus we have obeyed the voice of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, in all that he charged us, to drink no wine all our days, we, our wives, our sons, our daughters, and not to build ourselves houses to dwell in. Nor do we have any vineyards or field or seeds, but we have dwelt in tents and have obeyed and done according to all that Jonadab our father commanded us. But then it came to pass, when Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, came into the land, that we said, come, let us go to Jerusalem, for fear of the army of the Chaldeans, and for fear of the army of the Syrians. So we dwell at Jerusalem. And then came the word of the Lord to Jeremiah, saying, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, go and tell the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem that we will not receive instruction and obey my words, says the Lord. And the words of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, which he commanded his sons not to drink wine, are performed for this day. They still don't drink any wine, and they obey their father's commandments. But although I have spoken to you, rising early and speaking, you did not obey me. I have also sent to you all my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, turn now everyone from his evil way. Amend your doings and do not go after other gods to serve them, and then you will dwell in the land which I have given you and your fathers. But you have not inclined your ear, nor have you obeyed me, says the Lord. So surely the sons of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, have performed the commandment of their father, which he commanded them, but this people has not obeyed me. Therefore, thus says the Lord God of hosts, in Jeremiah chapter 35, verse 17, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring on Judah and on all the inhabitants of Jerusalem all the doom that I have pronounced against them, because I have spoken out to them, but they have not heard. I have called to them, but they have not answered. And Jeremiah said to the house of Rechabites, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, because you have obeyed the commandment of Jonadab your father, and kept all his precepts, and done all according to he has commanded you. Therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Jonadab the son of Rechab shall not lack a man to stand before me forever. Now it came to pass in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah, that this word came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, take a scroll of the book and write on it all the words that I have spoken to you against Israel, against Judah, and all the nations from the day I spoke to you. From the days of Josiah, even to this day, it may be that the house of Judah will hear all the adversities which I purpose to bring upon them, that everyone may turn from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. Then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote on a scroll of a book at the instruction of Jeremiah all the words of the Lord which he had spoken to them. And Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am confined. I cannot go into the house of the Lord. So you go therefore and read from the scroll which you have written. At my instruction, the words of the Lord in the hearing of the people in the Lord's house on the day of fasting. And you shall also read them in the hearing of all Judah who come from their cities. it may be that they will present their supplication before the Lord, and everyone will turn from his evil way. For great is the anger and the fury that the Lord has pronounced against this people. And Baruch, the son of Neriah, did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded, reading from the book of the words of the Lord in the Lord's house. Now it came to pass in the 5th year, in Jeremiah chapter 36, verse 9, the son of Josiah, Hosea, the king of Judah, in the 9th month, that they proclaimed a fast before the Lord to all of the people in Jerusalem, and to all of the people who came from the cities to Judah, cities of Judah, to Jerusalem. And then Baruch read from the book of the words in the house of the Lord in the chamber of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, the scribe, in the upper court at the entry of the new gate of the Lord's house, in the hearing of all the people. There's nothing really else to say. Actions speak louder than words, and faith without works is dead. Shalom.